what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
We are live. It is the Squared Circle Digest. Sean Stanley coming to you. New time, new day. We're going to be doing Tuesdays and Thursdays now. It's supposed to be 8 p.m. I apologize. Had some technical difficulties. Finally got that worked out. And now we are on the air, thankfully. So hopefully everything goes well here. Had a computer issue. That got worked out. Then I had a camera issue, and now that I can make myself look any better, but at least the camera's working. This week, so far, we had the WWE Raw, which we'll discuss as well. And we also had, which I want to talk about now, the AEW Double or Nothing. This says pre-show, but it is the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view that took place Sunday night into Monday morning. And let me tell you, that was one of the longest pay-per-views. The buy-in match started at, I believe they said 5:45, and CM Punk won the title at 12:45. I'm sorry, 7:45. I'm not sure. I think I said 5:45. It was a 5-hour show from the beginning of the bell for the buy-in till CM Punk got his hand raised. It was 5 full hours. I don't know about full, but it was 5 hours of wrestling from AEW Double or Nothing. Overall, I found interesting because I did put a poll out. And normally when I put a poll out, it goes one of two ways. It's A+, 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 A+ for the AEW fans. And not watchable, not watchable, not watchable, not watchable by, of course, WWE fans. This one was pretty interesting. You still had your 10% AEWers. You had your 10% WWEers. But for the first time after an AEW pay-per-view, B and C were the winners. B ended up with about 50%. And C ended up with 27%. I found that a little bit good to see because honestly, I didn't think the pay-per-view was phenomenal. Sorry, AJ. But look, there were some good things on the pay-per-view. There were some bad things on the pay-per-view. Some things probably could have been on an AEW Dynamite, AEW Rampage. Tony Khan said beforehand, anybody listen to the Richard Deitch sports media podcast said, hey, look, if it goes to a game 7, my heavyweight title match will not go on until game 7 is over. Game 7 ended at 11:15. CM Punk did not go on until 12:15. 12:15 is when CM Punk went on, an hour after game 3 ended. Look, TK, I get it. I know you're catering towards your hardcore AEW fans, but that's too long. They're burned out, man. Of course they're going to erupt when CM Punk wins. They're going to give you your crowd chants and everything else like that, but the rest of the time they're sitting on their asses, man. You had the triple threat tag team match, which, you know, again, that could have been this is what I would have done. I would have had that the Anarchy in the Arena match, I would have had that go. And they did. They had that go. And then when there was about, because this game went down to the wire, actually, for the Heat and the Boston Celtics. So I would have let it go for a little bit longer. But I would have already had all the other matches done. And then all I would have had it done was that, once the 3 went off, missed the shot, Boston Celtics are going to win it. All right, fellas, start taking it home, guys. No, that match went longer. And then you still had I forgot about the damn triple threat tag team match. I was like, oh my goodness, there's still another match. And to be honest, it was a pretty good match. But after a few hours of wrestling, it just gets tiring. The Jade Cargill match early on in the card, I thought could have been moved down. There was a lot of misses in that match. The good thing was they brought out Stokely, Hathaway, and Athena. Those were your surprises for the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view. And then, of course, Julia Hart joining. I was a little bit off on that one. I had said that they'll debut somebody and make a new member of the House of Black, but I thought it would be a surprise, and I totally forgot Julia Hart has been working that angle, and now she's made the full turn and joined the House of Black. The Hardys beating the Young Bucks. I feel like you're almost going above and beyond as the Young Bucks to not book yourself as being over. I think the Young Bucks needed that match more than the Hardys. And Jeff Hardy, apparently something wrong with his foot. I'm not sure. He looked a little off that whole match. He's been pulled out of the 10-man tag for AEW Dynamite. Adam Cole as well has been pulled. So now it will be a, what is it going to be now? An 8-man tag. It'll be 4-on-4 now instead of 5-on-5 at AEW Dynamite. And Jeff Hardy, again, I said, just with what he put his body through taking on Darby Allin, then turn around and fight Adam Cole, then turn around for a pay-per-view. I think WWE had it right, man. I know Jeff Hardy didn't probably like that much, and there were some things else that happened to there, but sometimes you got to protect the performer from themselves. And in this case, I think that is 100% the case. I mean, you can't jump off ladders every damn week. I get it. Everybody says it's fake, but your body takes a beating. Your body takes a beating. Ain't nothing fake about coming off a ladder and going through a table. Great. You bounce off a body and you hit the concrete floor. I mean, the Hardys, they've proven enough. They're a legendary tag team. To me, the Young Bucks should have got the win. I will go on record saying I think that was a mistake. How far down do you want to push the Young Bucks? I get it. They're the EVPs. I get it. Oh, they're going to put themselves over. They're trying to, beat that stigma. Man, we're 3 years in. Let the Young Bucks be the damn Young Bucks. One of the best tag teams in the world. And let them go and run the tag team division. Fight with FTR for the titles. Fight any of the tag teams right now. I just don't think your tag team division is where it needs to be. I think your women's division is getting there. I like the fact you let Thunder Rosa keep the title. Put a little legitimacy on Thunder Rosa and the title. I like that you let Britt Baker win the Owen. Because, again, she was the champion. She got beat by Thunder Rosa. She wins the Owen as the former AEW Women's Champion. And then Thunder Rosa defends her title against Serena Deeb. You keep them strong. You have Athena coming in now as well. Jade Cargill, I thought the match would be better. Anna, they had some good spots. They had some not so good spots. But, again, it was a 5-hour marathon, and the Anarchy in the Arena match was exactly that, Anarchy in the Arena. I mean, I love the promo that, now I'm drawing a blank. Oh, my goodness. Eddie Kingston. The promo Eddie Kingston cut before the show was freaking amazing. And I agree with Bubba Ray. What he said on Busted Open Radio was that should have been on the main show. Should have been. That promo should have played again. You play so much again and again and again. That should have played again. That put an emphasis on what he was willing to do in that match. And all 10 of those men went out there and busted their asses. And then you were able to create something with Kingston and Danielson there, a little rift. And then all of a sudden, Danielson ends up getting pinned. I still think the 5 with the Blackpool Combat Club, Santana, Ortiz, and Kingston should have won. I think one of the 2.0 guys should have got pinned. But hey, either way, the match kicked ass. I mean, it was an Anarchy in the Rules match and Anarchy in the Arena match. And it delivered on the violence. That's what that match was there to do. And it was there to draw out the time. And that's exactly what it did. I thought both Owen matches, the Britt Baker, Ruby Soho delivered. And I thought Adam Cole, Samoa Joe delivered. Other than that, I think the Young Bucks were the only ones. And then again, I said Swerve and Keith Lee, I thought, might win the titles. They didn't. They kept the titles on Jurassic Express. Don't think it's a terrible thing, but I'm still very interested in. Honestly, at the end, they had Jungle Boy on Christian Cage's shoulders, and they were, holding the belts up and everything else. And I got the vision in my head of when Randy Orton was on Batista's shoulders, and they turn around, they look at Triple H, and he gives them the thumbs down. Now I'm waiting for that to happen. I feel like this is getting set up for Christian Cage to turn on Jurassic Express at some point. Or maybe they all turn on Jungle Boy and Jungle Boy goes, singles. I don't know. But the pay-per-view, TK, a little bit long, and then, they had the scrum afterwards where he kind of spoke on, let's see, I'm trying to think of, I didn't watch them all, so I'm remembering back to the ones I saw. I saw a little bit of Jade Cargill. And they were asked, will she keep using the elevator entrance? That was a la Cody Rhodes. And interesting by Tony Khan, what he said was, I thought I got rid of that $150,000 charge a year. It costs $3,000 to use that little elevator ramp. $3,000 a show. And he was doing that 52 weeks out of the year, $150,000. For Cody's entrance there. Let that sink in. That doesn't count the pyro, by the way, either, that he was coming out to. Think about that. They should start making some other wrestlers pay for their pyro and entrances and see how plain Jane they go. Also, they got into a thing with CM Punk and Tony Khan about Punk being a financial flop. Tony Khan took exception to that and just went in a tirade about everything that Punk has done since he's been there, and he's brought the ratings up, and he's helped win the Friday Night War, which I'm not sure 100%. I'm still trying to research what the hell Tony Khan was talking about a Friday Night War. I'm not sure, because the ratings of SmackDown, that's not there, and I'm not sure what he was kind of going after there. I need to do a little bit more research into what he was 100% saying, because again, I saw these off of Twitter feeds. They're loading up the real ones now. If you check out Denise Salcedo, her YouTube channel, she's got the scrums there, and it is very interesting just to, again, this was right after the matches. Tony Khan kind of pressed on, actually they were asking CM Punk, and Tony Khan felt obliged to kind of defend, saying that he's been a positive on the financial side. I don't know 100% if I can believe that, depending on what they're paying him. MJF did show up to the arena, by the way. Everybody was wondering about that, and I think that match did exactly what it needed to do. MJF run like a scared little puppy, running everywhere, trying to dodge. Wardlow finally gets his hands on him and just dominates him. That's exactly what that match needed to be. Now, the whole other thing, this is from Fightful. They stated that, he basically showed up a little bit before his match, dressed, went out, did the match, got put on the stretcher, got wheeled back in through the things, and was away from the arena before the card was over. That's what they've been getting the news on. As of yesterday, MJF was still in Vegas, and they were supposed to meet at 8 p.m. Eastern, our time, so at 5 o'clock. I have not seen anything come out of that meeting, good or bad. So we'll have to see where it stands with MJF and Tony Khan and AEW. Looking back on it again, I thought the pay-per-view was a B+, B+. CM Punk winning the title, I don't disagree with it. But again, I was looking back at it was interesting. Hangman Adam Page won the belt on 11/13. I think I still have that up right here. Hold on a minute. Yes, I do. On 11/13, 2021, he beats Kenny Omega. Since that time frame, that would be about a little bit under 6 months. He's beat Adam Cole twice, Lance Archer, a time limit draw with Bryan Danielson. Then he defeated Bryan Danielson, and he beat Dante Martin, and then he loses to CM Punk. So when I look at Adam Page's, AEW run as heavyweight champion, I got to kind of give it an incomplete. I don't think we got to see much of what it was. He basically defended it. He won it on a pay-per-view. He defended it on one pay-per-view, and then he lost it on the next pay-per-view that he was on. So I don't think that you were able, it's either an incomplete or a failure. And I mean this on the booking and creative side, not Adam Page as a champion or that. I just think that he was not able to show anything as a champion. He wasn't. And this wasn't even during COVID times. He was not able to kind of fulfill, I believe, what he could have been as a champion. I thought you saw a little bit of it with Adam Cole. It was I thought Bryan Danielson brought it out of him a little bit. Then I thought Adam Cole was bringing it back out of him a little bit. But all in all, I just don't think that you got to see the extent of what Adam Cole could do as a champion. Not in the slightest. I don't know, whether you want to call it booking, whether you want to call it however. To me, it's either incomplete or a failure. Now we'll have to see what happens with CM Punk. Of course, a lot's being made about, Forbidden Door. Will we see the best in the world take on the best in the world? Will we see that happen? We start that road now. So we'll see what happens. They're in LA at the Forum this Wednesday night. So we'll see what happens. And then also don't forget the Time Warner Discovery executives also in the building in LA this week. So we'll see what they do if they try to add anything on top of what they already did there. Last night, it was Monday Night Raw. Overall, again, this show, interesting in the fact that it was building up to Hell in a Cell. And for me, one of the questions I had, and I want to take a look at something real quick. I had it drawn up, and of course, I lost it here, and now I have it up. So when you look at what is going on with Hell in the Cell, everything is raw. Everything is raw. I'm wondering if they're starting to go back to the brand specific pay-per-views. Or if they're doing that this time, because again, the interesting thing is, again, when they go to like Clash in the Castle, usually one brand travels, the other brand kind of stays here in the US. So if there's any travel issues, of course, you've got backup. So with Clash of the Castle coming up, which is on, when is Clash of the Castle? Actually, I think that's after Money in the Bank. Clash of the Castle will be on September 3rd. So I'm wondering if now they're starting to book the pay-per-views kind of brand specific, because that one's probably going to end up being SmackDown, I believe, because you have Drew there. You have the Brawling Brutes there as well, which all are UK talent. So you'll probably see the SmackDown brand be more on there, or they do it like they do Saudi and they take everybody. I just don't know if they want to leave anybody around. But the Hell in a Cell, the interesting thing, again, as I said, is it's all raw. It is all raw, and it'll be Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, which I thought they fire ass promo by both of them to get that match. I don't even think that it needed anything else, but the fact that they, went at each other the way they did with, Seth Rollins saying, "You and your little buddies over there trying to tear down what I've been building." And then he said, you can take the sledgehammer to the throne, and now you want to come and sit on that same throne, making reference to Cody Rhodes at, I believe it was All In, the first pay-per-view. He comes up in the throne, walks forward, grabs the sledgehammer, walks back to the throne, and then just destroys it. That was the first AEW pay-per-view. So again, I think one of the things that's helping this feud out too, you got two goddamn great talents, but I think also they're getting a lot of say in what is being brought into this feud, which is being realistic. Cody's like, hit on me about the AEW stuff. Add that fuel to the fire. And you can get invested in it now. Why? Because there's real feelings. There's real feelings being drawn up. You think Seth Rollins wants Cody? He left WWE to go and start to make another company that wanted to take the food off of his table. Now he's come back. And I don't want you back. That builds that realism, right? It's just like the Monday Night Wars back in the day, man. It was people, you're losing food. You're taking food off the table. You've seen the documentaries. WWE was so close. But Vince's ego would not allow him to be beaten. But they were close. If you've watched the documentaries, you've watched all the other stuff, they were there on the things. And Seth said, you went with your buddies and you tried to tear down what I've been building for the last 6 years. That's a passionate promo, man. And that match has got a good build to it. The Lashley against MVP and Omos. Again, 2-on-1. MVP has added a lot to this feud. Bobby Lashley. This started at WrestleMania. Bobby Lashley comes back, beats Omos. The next night, MVP turns on him. And since then, they've been trying to make life a living hell for Bobby Lashley. They win the match to make the stipulation. So the stipulation is what now? It's a 2-on-1 match at Hell in a Cell. And you saw them go at it. Lashley spears Omos through a table. And again, they are building up these matches. To me, it's going to be a pretty good card. And the other thing is NXT has In Your House the night before. So WWE has a pay-per-view on Saturday with NXT and Sunday with Hell in a Cell. So again, it's going to be very interesting to see what they do. So you've got Theory going to take on Ali right now. This is the card right now for the U.S. Championship. You got Liv Morgan, Finn Balor, and AJ Styles versus Judgment Day. Bobby Lashley versus Omos and MVP. Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel. The Raw Women's Championship, now a triple threat match. Bianca Belair versus Asuka versus Becky Lynch. And then, of course, the Hell in a Cell match, which is Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Again, a very, very Raw-centric pay-per-view. And it looks like Nakamura and Riddle will probably take on the Usos in the Undisputed Tag Team Championship match, which I think the Usos win that one somehow, some way. Not sure. Could this be the moment when Randy Orton comes out and turns on Riddle? I don't think so. And it was interesting because a lot of people thought Riddle would be challenging Roman Reigns at Hell in a Cell. And again, Hell in a Cell no longer, Roman Reigns doesn't look like he's going to be there because this is not a stadium. If you went by what the report was, Roman Reigns is going to do the stadium pay-per-views. And now it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Money in the Bank, because Money in the Bank now went from Allegiant Stadium to the MGM Grand Arena. No longer a stadium show. And I don't know if the ticket sales didn't go because, they don't know if Roman's going to be there. I don't know what the issue was, but those tickets did not sell. And then I read the thing, and it stated, 65,000 was Allegiant Stadium. And again, that's for wrestling. You probably take off maybe about 20. So maybe about 45, 50,000. And the Grand Garden Arena holds 17,000 at that's with all the bleachers and everything else. So, that's a big, steep drop off going from a stadium show to the MGM Garden Arena. So you wonder if Roman Reigns there not being there, or, the lack of Roman Reigns there will have, or is having this issue, is having the effect now on WWE. So we'll have to see, but, we'll talk more about the Hell in a Cell, and we'll do the pre-show Sunday before it goes on the air. We'll take a look at, I forgot about the NXT In Your House. We will have to see about possibly doing a pre-game before that as well, because I want to try to do a pre-show before each and every pay-per-view as they go. Braun Breaker versus Joe Gacy. Actually, right now, WWE NXT's on. But I'm very intrigued on that with Joe Gacy and Braun Breaker and where they lead that with the NXT. So right now, WWE's got some good stuff going. AEW's got good stuff going. Matt Cardona got an injury. He had belts in quite a few organizations. I'm not sure how serious the Matt Cardona injury was. I know he left Vegas and went home ASAP. And I know he said he might have a torn bicep. I have to take a look here. And it is, let's see, he provided a major injury update. Got an MRI today. Bicep is torn. Surgery needed. Will unfortunately need to cancel some dates. So there you go. He was fighting Blake Christian, and he came over and he kind of rolled over onto his arm, and then he grabbed his arm during that match. So get well soon, Matt Cardona. If anybody can come back and, knock it out of the park, it's always ready. But now it's going to be, he will miss some time. Cardona's current NWA heavyweight champion and was scheduled to defend the title against Nick Aldis at NWA Always Ready on June 11th in Knoxville. It is likely, though, not confirmed, that Cardona will be unable to defend the title on the show. More than likely, if he gets surgery on a torn bicep, he's not wrestling in about 12 days. I know he's a tough mofo, but I do not see him wrestling in 12 days. So don't forget, you can follow me on Sean_Stanley11. Of course, you can reach out at Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. You can also reach out to me at Sean.Stanley1102 at Gmail. And send me the questions on wrestling, anything you want there. Of course, you can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram. Again, it's at Sean_Stanley11. This will be the new day, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Make sure you put it down in your calendars. Tell your friends we're going to talk wrestling on Tuesdays and Thursdays now. We'll still do the pre-shows for the pay-per-views. But I figure this will be a better way to get more accomplished, a better time to get some stuff accomplished for me as well. Got some things rolling on with the Big O Radio Show where I need some time on some other days, and it was starting to affect a little bit on what I was able to get to watch and then kind of talk about on the show. I want to make sure I'm 100% prepared and ready and giving you the best info I can when we talk pro wrestling, and then also reached out to a few people, and it looks like interviews would be better and easier to do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we're looking to have a couple live interviews join us and be able to discuss the world of professional wrestling more in depth, and also introduce you to some new talent and to maybe some new federations. And again, if you're in an area and you know of a federation, please drop a line to me at the Twitter handle right there, Sean_Stanley11. Just give me information on the federation and who point of contact is, and I'll do the rest. And I want to start branching out to many parts. A lot of people watch and listen and download this show. I thank every one of you, and I want this to grow and start having some interviews and everything going on here on this show. So I want to thank everybody for tonight. Appreciate everybody that's been on board. And in the words of the great Gordon Soley, say it with me now. So long from the sun, shine, state.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie.